We are only halfway through the 2022 season, but the FIA is already making rule changes for the 2023 season. They haven't been able to make changes to solve porpoising for this season, but these changes will hopefully make a difference in 2023. The safety concerns around porpoising had to be addressed eventually, and luckily for the drivers, the FIA have answered their calls. Let's get you up to date on everything that is changing. Due to how rule changes in Formula 1 happen, these changes still need to be approved by the World Motorsports Council, but at this point there isn't any obvious reason why they would be rejected. The FIA have submitted 4 rule changes to the World Motorsports Council for approval, but they all have the same aim: to reduce the amount of bottoming out and porpoising the cars are suffering from. A range of aerodynamic measures that the FIA sees as relatively modest aerodynamic tweaks were discussed with teams before they were narrowed down to the 4 steps. Floor edges will be raised by 25 mm. The underfloor diffuser throat will be raised. More stringent lateral floor deflection tests will be introduced, and a more accurate sensor will be adopted to help quantify the aerodynamic oscillation. These measures will be submitted to the World Motorsport Council for consideration and approval shortly, as it is vital for the Formula 1 teams to have clarity of the regulations to which to design their cars, the FIA said. Of course, not everyone is happy with the changes. Red Bull especially have been against FIA interference this season. They have coped with the bouncing problems the best of any team on the grid and feel they are being punished for following the rules and making a good car. Those that are against the interference have argued the FIA does not need to act because porpoising is becoming less of an issue as the season develops and has not been anything like as severe as the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, where concerns about driver health and safety reached their peak. But the FIA says that while this has been seemingly reduced in the last few races, they took place at circuits where the effect is expected to be lower than normal. If unaddressed, the problem is expected to reappear in future races. Furthermore, the FIA suspects that development of the cars for 2023 will lead to a worsening of the effect as they will produce more downforce. In many ways, the changes that have been proposed are similar to those in 2021, when F1 trimmed the floor, brake winglets and diffuser strakes to help depower the aerodynamic potential of the car's rear end. Such a move was done to essentially save the teams from themselves, as they would likely have designed cars that put too much stress on the tyres, which would have caused even bigger problems. In much the same way as those 2021 tweaks, these latest changes will reduce the peak loads that are imparted on the chassis and help to reduce the potential for porpoising and bouncing. With the new aerodynamic oscillation metric that the FIA are measuring, they wouldn't want teams designing cars that were designed to break the limit of that. This will come in from the Belgian Grand Prix after Formula 1 summer break. Instead of a simple acceleration value, such as the commonly quoted G-force, the AOM will be far more complicated to help the FIA intervene in the most accurate way possible, but also ensure the safety of the drivers. They came up with a formula designed to calculate aerodynamically generated vertical oscillations. The AOM will be given in joules per kilogram per 100 kilometers. The FIA are also changing how they assess the rigidity of the underfloor planks. The cars undergo tests before every race to check they abide by the technical rules of the sport, and one of those tests check how rigid the floor is. Some teams had found a way to circumvent the checks, which meant they could run their cars lower to the ground and their floors could withstand more damage without breaking FIA rules. Getting a car closer to the floor improves performance in this new breed of Formula 1 cars due to the ground effect floor. Obviously, the closer the car is to the track surface, the more it will hit that surface, and that is a huge safety concern for the drivers. The FIA obviously doesn't want to intervene if they don't have to, but the safety risks of porpoising forced their hand this time. The FIA reaffirmed its strong commitment to reduce and hopefully eliminate the issue in the near term, as it is considered to be a significant safety matter, said the FIA statement. It is the responsibility and the prerogative of the FIA to intervene for safety matters, and the reason the regulations allow such measures to be taken is precisely to allow decisions to be taken without being influenced by the competitive position each team may find themselves in, it added. Hopefully, the new rules for this season and change in technical regulations for next season mean the bouncing problem will be a thing of the past. Formula 1 is dangerous enough without the drivers having to be afraid of the long-term health problems driving the cars might create. Let us know your thoughts on the new rule changes in the comments section. And while you're down there, please subscribe to F101, and I will see you in the next video.